Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S6 6047, The Wild Whale Watch, Chapter 1. Miss Frizzle is late, Tim said. He looked up at the clock on the classroom wall. She's usually here before we get in. We're all sitting at our desks, ready to begin the first lesson of the day, science. Yeah, DA said, and she is hardly ever late for science. Just then the door opened. Miss Frizzle came waltzing in, carrying a large, lumpy envelope. Good morning, class, she sang out. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I had to stop by the office to pick up some important mail. She held up the envelope. Here are the tickets for our next field trip, she announced, and I promise you're all going to have a whale of a good time. I get it, Keisha said. I bet we're going on a whale watch. Right you are. Keisha, Miss Frizzle said. I asked my old friend, Captain Gill, to send me tickets for the whole whale watch cruise on his boat, the Neptune. We're going today. Yay! Ralph yelled. I can hardly wait. I've always wanted to see a real live whale. Me too, Tim said. I hope we get to see a blue whale. They are huge. We might see a blue whale, Miss Frizzle said. I can promise different kinds of whales live all over the world. Today we are going to see whales that live off the New England coast. New England coast. Miss Frizzle pulled a bunch of booklets from the envelope and handed them out. Captain Gill knows a lot about whales. Here's a copy of his handbook for each of you. It's full of fabulous whale facts. They are amazing mammals, Big Blue. The blue whale is the largest animal that has ever lived on Earth. It's longer than 6 elephants and weighs more than a Seismosaurus, one of the most gigantic dinosaurs ever known. From Captain Gill's Whale Watcher's Handbook. There are more than 75 different kinds of whales living in waters all over the world, where some of the whales are. Blue whale, all oceans worldwide, but more live south of the equator. Gray whale, northern Pacific Ocean. Fin whale, temperate and cold waters of both hemispheres, more in the south than the north. Minke whale, tropical, temperate, and polar waters of both hemispheres. Humpback whale, worldwide. Right whale, temperate and cold waters of the northern Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, and of the southern Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Ocean. Bowhead whale, Arctic Ocean, cold waters of the northern Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Orca, also called killer whale, worldwide. Pilot whale, northern Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea, also southern Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Ocean. Sperm whale, worldwide. Narwhal, Arctic Ocean, especially around Canada. The beluga whale, coastal seas of Arctic Ocean. Hudson Bay, Gulf of St. Lawrence, the Bering Sea, Gulf of Alaska, North Sea and Northern Atlantic Ocean. Wow, Carlos says, as he flipped through the handbook. I never knew there were so many kinds of whales. That's right, Carlos. The Freeze replied, and all the whales are divided into two types. From the desk of Miss Frizzle, two types of whales are toothed whales and baleen whales. This toothed whale is an orca. Dorsal fin, blowhole, melon, teeth, eye, flippers, the fluke. The baleen whale is a humpback. This is going to be a great trip, Arnold says, especially since we'll be on a regular boat, not the bus. We won't have to worry about anything weird happening. Yeah, really great, I said. But secretly, I was a little worried. What if a whale came too close to our boat and tipped it over? I didn't really want to go. Hey, what's the big deal about whale, Miss Frizzle? I asked. They're just big fish. Oh no, Wanda. Whale is not a fish at all. It's a mammal, the Fritz replied. You'll have to get your feet wet to understand the wonderful world of whales to the bus. Whales are not fish by D.A. Whales live in the water, but they are not fish. Whales are mammals, like dogs, cats, bears, and people. Fish have organs called gills that help them get oxygen out of the water. Whales have lungs and need to breathe oxygen from the air. Most fish lay eggs. Whales, like all mammals, give birth to live young and feed the babies milk. Chapter 2. In a short while, the magic school bus pulled up at a harbor on the coast of New England. What is the ocean? Phoebe asked. It smells fish, but I can't see a thing in this fog. Fog was getting thicker as we drove closer to the ocean. Miss Frizzle didn't seem worried, as my great aunt Misty used to say. Never fear, the fog is bound to clear. We were just about to get off the bus when I saw a huge dark shape coming out of the fog. Don't open the door, Miss Frizzle, I called. There's some kind of a giant out there. Just a giant at heart, the Freeze said. And she pulled the lever to open the door. The giant stepped right up the stairs onto the bus. It wasn't a giant after all, just a very large man dressed in a dark blue jacket. He had a bush white beard and wore a cap with an anchor on it. Captain Gill, at your service, the man said in a low, rumbling voice. He gave us a little salute and turned to Miss Frizzle. I tried to call you, ma'am, but I was too late. I'm afraid I have bad news for the Mateys. The big man looked as if he were about to burst into tears. Now, the priest said. Just tell me what happened. Things may not be as bad as you think. It's my boat, ma'am, Captain Gill said. There was a sudden storm last night. The Neptune got a bit smashed up. Luckily, damage can be fixed, but she's not going anywhere today. You mean we can't go on the whale watch? I said, relieved. Everyone else on the bus seemed upset, and Miss Frizzle got that twinkle in her eye. Did not say things may not be as bad as they seem. She started the engine, and the bus moved slowly along the dock. As we picked up speed, wisps of a fog crept inside and swirled around us, so we couldn't see anything inside or out. What is going on? The captain cried. Watch out, you're going to drive straight off the dock. We never drove straight into the ocean at my old school. Oh, Phoebe said, her hands covering her eyes. Suddenly the fog broke up and there was water all around us. We were in the middle of the ocean. The bus had turned into a boat. Captain Gill rubbed his eyes. I must be dreaming, he said. No, you're just on the magic school bus, boat. And I told him with a sigh, this kind of thing happens all the time. Captain looked around at the roomy cabin and the shiny instrument panel. She is a beauty, ma'am, he exclaimed. May I take the hand, Miss Frizzle? I keep an eye out for whales and steer us right to them. Captain Gill asked. Be my guest, Miss Frizzle said. Captain Gill took the wheel. The leads hopped off Miss Frizzle's shoulder right onto Captain Gill's. Splendid! Liz can be my first mate. Suddenly a dark shadow caught my eye. It was moving very quickly underneath the boat. Before I could make a sound, it popped out of the water right next to us. Then another leaped up beside it. Captain Gill! Help! Captain Gill and Miss Frizzle turned their heads to see. Then a huge Smile crossed the captain's face. No need to worry. Wanda, this is welcoming company. They are common dolphins. One by one, the black, gray, and cream-colored dolphin dived in and out of the water right next to us. The dolphins were in front of the boat, now still driving and leaping in graceful curves. The dolphins are bow riding, Captain Gill told us. The phrase comes from the word we sailors use for the front of the boat. The bow, stern, port, starboard. It says here that dolphins are members of the whale family. Dorothy Ann, checking her book, they are called the toothed whale. It's always a treat to have dolphins swim with us, Captain Gill said. Toothed whale. Whales with toothed teeth are called toothed whale. The males are usually larger than the female. Dolphins, porpoises, orcas, sperm whales, and narwhals are all kinds of toothed whale. Dolphins swam on ahead, and we lost sight of them, Captain Gill said. When you're trying to spot a whale, the first thing to look for is the blow or spout. It looks like a spot of a mist coming up from the ocean. Whales make blows when they come up to the surface to breathe. Sometimes you can tell what kind of whale is out there just from the blow. Just then, binoculars drop down from above our sea. Whales breathe through blowholes at the top of the head. Because the blowholes aren't on top, the whale can breathe while most of its body is underwater. Spray you see is the mist that comes out when the whale exhale. Different kinds. So whales have blows of different shapes and sizes. Toothed whales have one blowhole. The baleen whales have two. Suddenly, Captain Gill cried. There she blows, off to port. We all grabbed our binoculars and looked out to the left. We could see sprays of water going up all over. Tim checked the spout section in Captain Gill's handbook. I think those spots are from fin whales, he said. Just then a huge dark gray whale rose out of the water. It came almost straight up. It was so close that we could see the white under its jaw and on its belly. Oh no, I cried. It's coming right for us. But the whale fell backward and hit the water with a great splash. It was amazing, but a little scary. I'm amazed, the captain cried. You're in luck today. These are definitely fin whales. Fin whale is also known as a razorback whale because of a thin ridge along its back. Fin whale is the second largest animal in the world. Fin whale can be 80 feet long, longer than the railroad passenger car. It is one of the fastest swimmers of all baleen whales, cutting through the water at speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. Chapter 3. It was awesome. The way that while the whale jumped up, Arnold said, that's called breaching, the captain says. Some experts think that breaching is a way for members of a group of whales to stay in touch with one another. They may be trying to stun the prey while they hunt. I hope none of those whales feels like breaching again. I said it might fall on top of us the next time. Whales seem to know how to behave around people and boats. Captain Gill said I have never been toppled by a whale in all my years at sea, but you never can be too careful. Just then one of the whales poked its hand straight up out of the water. It looked right at us, just covered my eyes. It is just checking us out, Captain Gill said with a laughter. When whales look around like that, we call it spy hopping. Miss Frizzle, I don't want to be spied on by a giant whale. I said, get us out of here. I can do something about that, Wanda. Everyone to the cabin. Now what? Uh-oh, looks like this is turning into another Miss Frizzle field trip. Arnold told him she's always doing this to us. Miss Frizzle pushed the red button on the boat's instrument panel. In a blink, the walls curved, and the cabin grew longer. The boat had turned into a submarine. No more scratching the surface, mate, Miss Frizzle said. We're going down deep. We will explore the world of whales in our magic school bus. Prepare to dive. Hey, Miss Frizzle, the field trip is all wet, Carlos joked. The end.